Distinguished participants, the subject I have the honor to present today, Theodoros Phokaeus and his contribution to the Psaltic Art, may at first glance appear only indirectly connected to the center theme of this international conference, greatness in doing and teaching. Upon closer examination, however, it embodies this very principle in a concrete and exemplary manner. It reflects the greatness that emerges from the unity of responsible action and conscious teaching, from service grounded in knowledge, and from pedagogy inseparable from lived ecclesial practice. The enduring legacy of the late Archbishop Anastasios does not reside solely in visible institutional achievements, but equally in his far-sighted vision of building a functional and truly autocephalous church, one sustained not by passive admiration of leadership, but by the formation of competent collaborators, scholars, educators, and professionals across all domains of ecclesiastical life. Within this vision, and through his direct encouragement and support, mass postgraduate and doctoral studies were closely oriented toward Byzantine musicology and the Psaltic Art, a field that constitutes an essential component of the liturgical, spiritual, and pastoral life of the Church, particularly in a context marked by substantial Psaltic needs. In this perspective, the study of the person and work of Theodoros Phokaeus, it is not merely a historical or musicological endeavor. Rather, it offers a concrete model of greatness expressed through doing and teaching, through the integration of liturgical services, pedagogical responsibility, editorial labor, and creative engagement with tradition. His figure provides a meaningful paradigm not only for 19th century Psaltic practice, but also for the contemporary life of the Church. It is within this conceptual and ecclesial framework that the present study is situated. Theodoros Phokaeus constitutes one of the most significant and multifaceted figures of 19th century Psaltic art. His contribution was decisive across multiple domains, including theory, pedagogy, musical composition, editorial activity, and the transcription of ecclesiastical and secular repertoires. His work played a fundamental role in the consolidation and dissemination of the new method of Byzantine musical notation, situating him among the principal representatives of the post-Reformed generation. Phokaeus lived and worked during a period of profound transformation in the musical and cultural life of the Orthodoxies. The reform of Byzantine musical notation in 1814, introduced by Chrysanthos of Miletus, Gregorius Protopsaltis, and Hormuzius Cartophylax, aimed at simplifying and systematizing musical writing through an analytical notation that facilitated teaching, learning, and transmission without altering the traditional melodic substance. Within this framework, Phokaeus emerged as one of the most prominent students and continuers of the Reform's work, contributing substantially to the stabilization and practical application of the new method. The historical and musicological context of the period was shaped by broader political and cultural developments within the Ottoman Empire, including the Tanzimat reforms and the intellectual and educational flourishing of the Greek Orthodox community of Constantinople. In parallel with developments in Western art music and the wider use of printing, Byzantine ecclesiastical music entered a phase of renewal characterized by the transition from manuscript to printed transmission. Musical typography became a decisive factor in the standardization of repertory and pedagogical practices, providing new conditions for the preservation and dissemination of Psaltic tradition. The present doctoral research, entitled Theodoros Phokaeus and his contribution to the Psaltic art, seeks to offer a comprehensive and systematic examination of Phokaeus' life, work, and legacy. The study is structured into three main parts. The first part focuses on his biography, drawing upon primary sources such as Phokaeus' autobiographical note, contemporary biographical testimonies, and archival documentation. Particular emphasis is placed on his musical education, his activity within the patriarchal musical milieu of Constantinople, his service as a chanter in major ecclesiastical centers, and his long-standing pedagogical activity. The second part examines Phokaeus' extensive body of work. Special attention is given to his editorial contribution, which includes 13 major publications in 22 volumes, encompassing the core repertory of Byzantine ecclesiastic music. This edition represents landmarks in the history of Psaltic typography and played a crucial role in shaping the musical canon of the 19th century. This section also analyzes his engagement with secular music through the transcription and publication of non-ecclesiastical repertoires, as well as his theoretical output, most notably the treatise Kryepiskopi, with emphasis on its pedagogical conception and its contribution to question of musical orthography. Furthermore, Phokaeus' compositional activity is examined through both manuscripts and printed sources, highlighting stylistic features and compositional practices. The third part of the dissertation is devoted to the evaluation of Phokaeus' overall contribution and reception. It assesses his role as a mediator between older musical tradition and modern pedagogical and editorial practices, as well as the influence of his work on subsequent generation of chanters, composers, and music educators. Particular emphasis is placed on his contribution to the formation, stabilization, and transmission of the Psaltic repertory during the 19th and early 20th centuries. Despite his decisive role in the establishment and dissemination of the new method, scholarly engagement with Theodoros Phokaeus has remained limited and fragmentary. Apart from the seminal study by Gregorios Stathis, existing references are scattered and often rely on uncritical repetition of earlier biographical accounts. The present research aims to address this gap by providing a methodologically grounded and holistic study based on primary sources and critical analysis. The findings of this study demonstrate that Phokaeus should be regarded not merely as a transmitter of tradition, but as an active and creative agent in the shaping of modern Psaltic art. His multifaceted contribution, editorial, theoretical, pedagogical, and compositional, confirms his central position in the history of 19th century Byzantine ecclesiastic music and underscores the enduring significance of his work within the Psaltic tradition. The late Archbishop Anastasius' encouragement of musical studies reflected a deep ecclesial vision in which knowledge was understood as essential to the life and mission of the Church. By supporting research on figures such as Theodoros Phokaeus, he helped to connect the Church's historical tradition with its contemporary pastoral needs. Such studies contribute to the formation of well-prepared scholars and practitioners, strengthen the musical identity of the local church, and support worship rooted in the authentic Byzantine tradition of the ecumenical patriarchate. In this way, the study of Psaltic art serves not only academic purposes, but also the liturgical life and future vitality of the Church. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You're not only a pre-cantor, but also an academic.